Okay, it looks like we are all set to go. We are starting our meeting. If I'm in error, please let me know. Otherwise, I saw the live stream start.
We're good to go.
Thank you. So we're starting our joint subcommittee meeting tonight for Legislative and Contract Subcommittee and Budget and Finance Subcommittee. So the first item starting at 5:15 p.m. today being Tuesday, November the 18th. And for Legislative and Contract Subcommittee, can we please have a roll call, Mr. Clerk?
Ms. Hurst,
Present.
Mr. Collins,
Here.
Mr. Naylor.
Yes, present. Thank you so much. So the first and only
Point of order, Madam Chairman.
Yeah.
For the record, and I believe that this meeting was being scheduled fully remotely, mandatory fully remote, violates our policy because our policy did never, to my memory, we never discussed going fully remote. We discussed the possibility that people might be there. By going fully remote, and I think our discussion at the full committee would have been much more robust. What we're doing is disenfranchising a huge percentage of our population because, as we have discussed many times at the school committee meeting, there's a large percentage of our population who don't have access to internet. That disenfranchises them from participating in a subcommittee meeting when it's mandatorily made remote. If it's hybrid, that doesn't. But when someone says that it must be mandatory remote, it disenfranchises all those people. And while not in this meeting, the next meeting, we're talking about, going to talk about $13 million in spending. And people might have had an opinion on that, and they don't have a chance to express it. And I know they don't, it's not, our subcommittee meetings don't have public speak out. But in the 18 years that I've served, I've never seen one chair ever deny a member of the public who is present the right to ask a question. Now, there is nobody in the room, and I wouldn't anticipate there would have been anybody in the room because of the way it was posted. Nobody from the public had a right to believe that they could come into this meeting. And you don't have to address it. We have a difference of opinion. I believe our policy, when it says that the members in the room shall be able to hear everybody else, anticipates that the room would be going. And I know some people are of the opinion that they think it doesn't say that, or it would allow that it's mute on that point. But I think it goes further, and I don't think the members of the committee understood when they vote that it allows a chair of a subcommittee to order another committee member on how they must attend. When you put something remote only, you are ordering all members of that committee how they must participate. And I'm just putting that out there for the record. We don't need to discuss it. I discussed it earlier today with Attorney Keefe, and we are of different opinions on it. Not on most of it, but he had, and I did express even my concern, and that's not up to Attorney Keefe. That's a policy commission, that this disenfranchises a huge percent of our population if we go remote only. They don't have the opportunity to participate, and it makes government far less transparent than it currently is.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Ms. Hurst, I saw your hand up.
I have nothing further.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your statement, Mr. Collins. At this time, we're going to go to voting item A. Vote to recommend to the full committee a vote to approve an extension or renewal of the Norris, Murray, and Peloquin LLC contract for legal services with the school committee. Superintendent Dr. Denal.
Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Thank you for an opportunity to speak to this item. As you know, we've discussed this a few times in subcommittee. It's also come up before the larger committee concerning the contract and the need to modify it and extend it. So I'm going to turn it over back to Subcommittee Chair Naylor to further explain exactly what those modifications are so that you can present it to the subcommittee.
Thank you so much. So when we voted on this contract, we voted for it as a 1 year for us to be able to circle back at the end of the year to be able to discuss how we would want to move forward and what that would look like. And so we did vote in the last couple of meetings to approve finances as far as it relates to this contract and the current contract that we have, but the one that is expiring shortly, we wanted to be able to name the fact that we then need to renew this contract and or make a determination as to how we would want to move forward. So that is what this is on the agenda for. And so I invite any of our school committee members at this time or would like to speak on this to speak on it at this time.
Yes, Madam Chair, go ahead, Denise. I already spoke, so go ahead.
I was just going to make a motion to move the question.
Which should happen before we have discussion anyway, so.
Correct.
Go ahead, Mr. Collins.
You need a second,
You'd
Latonia.
have to have a second.
Yeah, so do you want to second it, Mr. Collins, or do you want me to? Second
No,
it?
I do not.
Okay, so I will second that. And do we need a roll call?
Ms.
No,
Hurst,
you have a motion that was made and seconded. You can go forward with discussion. That's fine.
Okay. Ms. Hurst?
I have no comments. I have no discussion.
Okay.
Madam Chair?
I don't have anything to say at this time.
Okay, if I can speak. I believe that this contract needs to be modified and needs to be renegotiated. I don't think any of us anticipated that we would be spending 8 times what we spent before on legal services, and that's what has come about to be. So I think the contract ought to be modified, and I just heard you say something about modifications, and you actually don't need to answer, Dr. Dow, because this isn't.
That's why I turned it right back over.
This isn't concerning you.
Turned it right back over to you all.
Don't ever get in the middle of something you don't need to be in the middle of.
Oh, my mother raised me well. My father gave me wisdom.
But I think we need to put some modifications and guide rules into the contract. I would offer an amendment that it be extended for a period of 3 months to allow for renegotiating of the contract.
I'm fine with that.
Because we certainly don't want to be without an attorney during the superintendent evaluation process. So I would have had to really hesitate about voting not to extend it because we need the services in order to proceed. And we've got all public meetings scheduled. But I would like, and I did say to extend it, I mean, I did make the motion and you, I believe, seconded it, that be for 3 months. So you have a chance to renegotiate and put some parameters into this contract.
I am fine with that, Mr. Collins. If you're making a motion.
I did.
I will second that. And do we have a roll call?
May I say something?
Oh,
Vice
yeah,
Chair?
absolutely.
Sure. So I think we need to be really mindful about when those 3 months come up. We're going to be in the midst of the holiday season. We're going to be onboarding brand new members. And so it would seem to me that we would make sure that we would have enough time and we didn't find ourselves pushed up against the clock with having to renew them again in 3 months. Like, we wouldn't want it to expire. And so I just want us to be mindful of that timing.
So
And so I don't
3
know,
months
3
would
months
go-
is sufficient.
3 months would go to the end of February because it expires. If you don't think that's sufficient, I'd be willing to amend the motion to 4 if you think 3 months isn't, but 3 months would bring us just to the end of February, give us December, January, and February. Would you rather it be amended, Mrs. Hurst? Because I'm willing to say 4 if you
So
think that's
I'm willing
better.
to say 4. That's fine with me. I just think that we need to be mindful of timing and what are all the other things that are in play.
So Madam Chair, I'm willing to amend my motion to 4 months, and you were the seconder, so I can't amend it without the seconder agreeing to it.
I agree. I second that amendment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so, Mr. Clerk, may we please have a roll call?
Ms. Hurst,
Yeah,
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Ms. Naylor,
Yes, thank you. It's more than sufficient votes. So that is the only matter
So
that we have.
technically, what we did was
ahead.
vote on the amendment. Now we need to vote on the item as amended. Just so no one says we didn't follow the rules, because we amended it. And when you do that under the rules, you have to vote on the amendment and then vote on the item as amended. So I would make a motion that we approve the item as amended.
I will second that. Mr. Clerk?
Ms. Hurst,
yes,
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Ms. Naylor,
Yes, thank you. So we do have the sufficient vote to move that forward to the full body to vote on it. And that is all for our Legislative and Contract Subcommittee. We want to move into our item that's under the Budget and Finance Subcommittee. I always ask this question, Attorney Keys, can we just move right into that, or do we have to adjourn this current meeting?
Can you just repeat that one more time? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I apologize. Do we have to adjourn this part of the meeting, or can we go right into the Budget and Finance?
So the way that the agenda, I believe, was set up, it was a joint meeting, right? So I think we can just go right into it. I don't think we have to adjourn the legislative contracts portion. And Melissa, please, if I'm incorrect here, but I think because it's a joint meeting, we can just go right into it.
Attorney
And
Keefe,
also-
could I ask you a question?
Of course.
Since we opened the meeting by saying we're opening legislative and contracts and only took roll of legislative and contracts, wouldn't we be safer to adjourn that and then open the budget and finance? Because we didn't take roll of everybody from budget and finance when we opened this.
I'm sorry, I thought we opened it as a joint subcommittee meeting.
But
We
we took
did, but we
attendance
only-
of, yeah, we took attendance of legislative. Just so
Okay.
on the safe side, I'll move we adjourn that one and you can
Sure.
open the other one. And that way you'll have everybody recorded as attending. Is that, would
That
that
would-
follow?
That
Okay.
would work. Yeah.
You can do that. You can also take roll for the second part of the meetings. Since you did the roll for the first part of the meeting for the Legislative and Contract Subcommittee, you could now do the roll for the Budget and Finance Subcommittee meeting, but you could also adjourn and do roll after that. So it's
I'm fine with either way, as long as we
do the
acknowledge
roll.
that all the members do the roll, so we have all the members being acknowledged as being here.
Absolutely. That is an important part to do. Yep.
Thank you. I was just getting ready to ask that because I know that Mrs. Gresham is there. We wanted to make sure that we acknowledge the fact that she is there on behalf of the Budget and Finance Subcommittee. So if I heard correctly, Melissa, are we doing the roll call now? Okay, so Mr. Clerk, may we please do the roll call for Legislative and Contract? For Budget and Finance?
Ms. Hurst,
present,
Ms. Gresham,
Present.
Ms. Naylor,
Present. Thank you so much. So we have one item on the agenda, which is a vote to recommend to the full committee, a vote to approve an appropriation for carryover and other surplus funds in the amount of $12,942,450 to fund the investments listed on the attached form. Dr. Denal?
Thank you again. So with this particular item, we know that we have been talking about carryover. And again, it's not necessarily surplus funds. It's just due to the manner in which Chief Roach and his team are able to truly adhere to a budget and just be very fiscally responsible. As you can see in your one picture, all of these are directly connected to student learning outcomes. Everything, every item we're requesting your approval on has to do with what our students need in order to continue to thrive and move forward. A couple of face items there, that's family and community engagement. I'd like to point out that those are necessary upgrades to what we currently do, as well as the mandate that Department of Elementary and Secondary Education put forth concerning modifying or updating or changing our lottery system for our CTE and Chapter 74 programs. Pat Roach is here if you all have any additional questions.
I do have a couple of questions. Do any of my colleagues have questions before I ask?
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Chief Roach, on facilities summer projects, are these projects already in place or?
We're in the process of developing them now. We'd like to do them a little early so we can get the bids out. If we bid painting right now, it's very inexpensive to paint a school. It's kind of amazing where if you wait until like April to bid painting, they'll ask for 10 times as much money. So we're trying to get the bids going now. We normally shut down 10 schools for the summer, and then we do like tiling, painting, ceiling tiles, a lot of classroom improvements. This year, I think we're going to be quite a few over 10 because we have some MSBA projects, roofs and windows and doors going on.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gresham. And Mrs. Hurst, did you have a question?
No, thank you.
Okay, I do have a question about the lottery system and the intercom translation system. Can you elaborate just a little bit more on that? I think to see Mr. Escobar there. So that we can get so that the audience has a better understanding of what that means and what it is that we're doing with that.
Yeah, and so this is part of our whole student assignment service upgrade around technology, and it coincides with the DESE mandate around moving from a points system for our CTE to a lottery system if there is more students that are requesting CTE than there is space available. And so we have to go to a strictly blind lottery, and that it also has to be in public view. And so there's been extensive work with our IT department and also looking at different software, enrollment softwares that will actually meet the need, that specific need, but also upgrade our the needs that we have currently around enrollment. We are having, I had submitted to the Family Engagement Subcommittee for an informational presentation around that platform so that you'll have the ability to look at it, see what it does. But we are under a time crunch because we have to begin balloting around January, mid-January, and then subsequent to that balloting process, we will have to hold a public lottery for our Putnam Vocational School because we often have more students wanting that school than we have space.
Thank you so much. Mr. Collins, did you have a question?
I have a comment, and I'm not going to stop the vote because I think these things are all time sensitive. I just wish that the OTI service upgrades and these two items that you just spoke, and your explanation was excellent, Jose, so now I really understand it. But I wish they had brought it to the technology committee ahead of time so we could have had a chance to flush it out. And I understand we're under a crunch to get that lottery done. The state told us we have to do it. So I'm not going to object to it. I just wish that it had gone through subcommittee first. That's all.
Thank you. I appreciate you bringing that up. And Mrs. Hurst, I saw your hand up as well.
I guess I wanted to understand better. I know that I know what some districts do when they reference the word a public lottery. What is that going to look like for us? Like, are we going to actually do a public lottery where we're actually drawing names in public? Like, I know some of the charter schools do that. So that's why I'm wondering, what does that mean exactly?
So the exact details we're kind of working out with our IT and how that's all going to look. But essentially within the platform, students who are ballot for, let's say, Putnam, will get a unique ID number that's different from their student number. It's only for the purpose of lottery. And it's we'll have a weighted system. Obviously, this all has to go in front of school committee to finalize the CTE policy, but they'll get a weighted, I guess, points, the number of, for lack of a better word, tickets that you'll get to ballot for, let's say, Putnam. And then we would essentially possibly like live stream the lottery, and on the platform, let's say on the screen, it would be live streamed, and then the random number generator will present those students by ID number within that platform, and then list out how many students got selected to attend that. And so only the student and their parent would have that ID number. And then after that, it would be that ID number would go away. A new number would be generated for the following year.
So it would happen virtually.
Both.
It could have virtually
Both.
and in person. And so that's the stuff.
Okay,
like
so I guess
that-
that's what I was asking. So
Yeah.
we are going to have a venue where they're going to be able to come and be in person, in public?
We're still working on the details.
Okay,
I just met
okay.
with Bob St. Lawrence, and this was one of the items that he and I discussed. But he and Assistant Superintendent Escribano have been working closely together. So that is one of the ideas that we were exploring, because I know I'm familiar with the charter lottery pool, and we were figuring out if we would be able to support all parents by finding a centralized location, making sure there's sufficient parking, transportation, et cetera, as well as having it on Zoom. So making sure that we're accommodating everyone who might want to gain access to this public lottery.
Thank you.
Question,
so
Madam
much.
Chair?
Yes, and I
Maybe-
have an
maybe a
additional question as
recommendation,
well.
not a question. It sounds like we're putting a placeholder in for the money, so kind of like we did with a couple of other things in the past. But now that I hear you say the ambiguity of can you make sure that it goes through a subcommittee prior to implementation so that the public has a chance to give input? And it being a venue where public can ask questions.
Absolutely. We can do that.
And otherwise, you're going to get all kinds of, it was fixed. It was,
Right.
if you don't do stuff ahead of time, you're going to get people complaining at you afterwards.
Right. And also to just underscore that it's the enrollment and the lottery system.
Correct.
The primary driver was the enrollment, because we were recognizing the log jam and some other issues at SAS. So we wanted to update that process. And then lo and behold, DESE put the mandate on us to go public. So we were looking for a system that could do both. So it was really to clean up and make our SAS more efficient. And then this added directive just helped us move it forward a little quicker.
And same comment would apply on enrollment, because it's
Mhm.
enrollment of preschool. And you don't want people coming back saying that was a rigged system. I didn't get the school I wanted.
Mhm.
So if we flush it out in the public, people
Right.
understand before it's implemented. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah.
Trying to save you headaches later.
Thank you so much.
Well, we had more than enough headaches with the old system, so this new system's gonna clean up a lot of those headaches. So.
I think I did too. I'm looking forward to it. I have a question about the line item for the food service equipment. Is that within the schools?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. There's probably some equipment here that is going to the culinary center. I can take a look. There's some money for design. So some of our kitchens that are outdated, we have to hire an architect to come in and design a new layout for the kitchen. So we're going to be doing that now. And then as grants and funding become available, we usually try to do one kitchen a year, maybe two to renovate. All of this equipment is out in the schools. Looks like there's a couple pieces in the culinary center, but everything else is out in the schools.
Okay, and can you provide me and the committee with a line item as to what those items are? Because the list that I'm looking at just gives it as a flat item. It doesn't show me in detail like which schools that these supplies are going to. So that would be very helpful. And the other thing that I want to ask a clarifying question, I know that we're in the process, I believe this year, of having folks submit proposals for our food services. And I know that we have a really good relationship with Sodexo, but I guess my clarifier is the center that we have, is that owned by the school department or is that owned by Sodexo?
The center is owned by the school department and we control all the facilities, the equipment and every part of it. So if a new vendor came in, it would be a seamless transition.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm clarifying that because I know folks ask these kinds of questions and anyone that's watching this meeting, so that they don't think we're giving Sodexo an upper hand or any way by having this new equipment that we're appropriating, that it is something that is owned by the school. So, thank you.
Just to expound on that a little bit, every part of the food service program, we've tried to make seamless, if you will, including the homegrown brand. That's an SPS brand. That's not a Sodexo brand. So if for any reason somebody else won the RFP, right, it would be a seamless transition. All the equipment, all the kitchens, everything is ours. It was in all the IT infrastructure, all of the, every part of it was designed so that our students would not be affected and everything would be seamless, no matter who wins the bid.
Thank you, Mr. Roach. I appreciate your clarification. Are there any other questions before we vote? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you so much. Can we have the roll call, please, Mr. Clerk?
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor.
Yes. So that's more than sufficient votes. That is all that we have on the agenda for budget and finance. If there be no other things, then we may have a motion to dismiss to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you, Ms. Gresham, and roll call, Mr. Clerk. And do we have to have like a adjourning of both subcommittees?
Since we opened them as one, as long as you call them, since we opened it as one, I think as long as you call the attendance of everybody present, you'll be okay, because you opened it as one.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Clerk, you also need to call for Mr. Collins.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor.
Yes, thank you. You all have a great rest of the night.
Happy holidays.
Oh,
Happy
that's right.
holidays. Take
Happy
care.
holidays.
Oh, we won't be.
My goodness.